Would you mind checking YouTube to see if it's up?
I was just gonna say that I'll pull it up as soon as it goes live. Then I'll.
Oh, I just got a notification on my laptop that I'm live.
Yep, now it's up. Hey, and there's one viewer.
Is there? Is that us? Or you?
I'm not sure.
Or you?
There we are.
Nice. It was fun. It was long, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. Great showing by a lot of the guys, especially a lot of the gals too. Fantastic showing.
Hey, listen, I told you Aleila and Kadi were going to win.
Yeah, you did. Yep. Oh, man. No, that was a good show. Yeah, some of the angles were a little bit rough, but yeah, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, so let's see. There's no comments yet. So how do we know? How are you seeing viewers in YouTube? There's a viewer?
Yeah, I just have it on my phone right here, and it just says there's one viewer, which could be me. So
all right, so well, why don't we do this? Why don't I just get an interview in now?
I'm down.
Or do we want to do that, or do we want to? Why don't we check my predictions first?
Go through predictions. That works.
Yeah, let's do it just for the pros, I guess. But as I said, I think that we still don't have. So I'm going to refresh one more time. I think we just have podium so far on pros.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, because they didn't do that last event.
If I had to guess, Wes would be 4, Travis would be 5, Stan would be 6. Would you agree with that?
I think right now they had Travis as 4 and Wes as 5 and Stanley as 6. Yeah. Yeah, Travis was only behind Marcus by half a point.
Okay. Interesting.
And yeah, honestly, I think if he would have done anything, in the carry medley, as long as he could have ended up ahead of Stanley or Bobby, then yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we do that? Well, let's get started. So.
All right.
Why don't I'll do my traditional intro, right? So, what's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, and I have with me a guest, Isaac from Hunger Smash Fitness today. Introduce yourself, Isaac.
I'm Isaac with Hunger Smash Fitness. Been dabbling in strongman more and more recently, and then yeah, just started a channel on it, and it's becoming my little thing.
All right, well, let's get it started with a bang.
Hey, man, I don't have any flashing lights. I know you need some crazy music there. Oh, man. Fun.
How'd you like that? Nice intro?
It's very entertaining. Very entertaining.
Let's cut that off 1 sec. So I muted everything. All right. Pretty good, right? Little off, but I'll get it right next time.
Yeah, not bad at all.
So let's have a look at what my predictions were, first of all. And I had a couple of different tabs. So I'll go to my latest predictions. And of course, do we want to talk about the obvious? Gabriel Pena had to pull out?
Yeah, we can talk about that. It sounds like he's doing well overall. I saw he posted another video today of him doing some deadlift, but his shoulder's still just bugging him, which is just a bummer, you know. And it's just one of those things sometimes. Yeah,
it's unfortunate because I had him placing pretty high. I had him placing 4th, actually ahead of Trey, actually, and Trey ended up doing really well today. So we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
But, so I had Wesley winning. I had Bobby Thompson kind of in a tie, so it could have gone either way in what I had predicted. Then I had Marcus Crowder coming in 3rd. I had Gabriel Pena coming in 4th. Josh Hatfield, who also had to pull out. I had him in 5th. Then Trey, and then Travis, and then Stan. So question is, how did I do? Well, we could look at the individual events, right? So the overhead medley I had, and if I had a way to share both applications, that would be awesome. But I think I have to switch back and forth. So I had Marcus winning the overhead, and I believe he came in 2nd in the overhead. So
I think so.
Yeah. So why don't you talk a little bit about what you saw there, and I'll bring up that application.
Yeah, Marcus. Well, let me see. You have the other one up?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up right now.
Okay. Yeah. Trey and Bobby, I think, were the only ones that were able to complete the Mauser block on the overhead. Yeah, there you go. And that seemed to be the deciding factor. Is if they could get the Mauser block, then they'd head over to the Viking press and just bust out reps on it. That seemed to be the deciding factor. Is if they were able to get past the Mauser block, then they seemed to be okay. But Mauser block, I mean, there's no handholds on it. There's no it just sucks. Like, it's built to be miserable, and that's that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it seems like they didn't go for time there. They had everybody tie at 2.5 points that didn't make it past a particular implement. So that was interesting.
Yeah, I think they did have a 60-second cap, but most of the guys, after they tried the Mauser block once or twice, would just wave it off and say they weren't going to try again. So even if they had time remaining, they weren't going to waste energy if they knew they couldn't do it.
Right. Yeah. It seemed like the Mauser was kind of the nemesis of a lot of athletes.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never actually tried a Mauser block. But just looking at it doesn't look like any fun. It's not one of the more pleasant implements.
Yeah. It's interesting. I had always thought it wouldn't be so bad because it has the feet on the bottom and you can get your fingers under it to grab it. But that doesn't take into account the idea that you have to flip it once you've raised it and kind of make a shelf of your chest. Like, you're bending over backwards pretty far to kind of get it into position for the overhead. So it makes it like really cumbersome and unwieldy.
Yeah. And that was definitely obvious in this. It seemed like the guys that had the larger belly and the larger chest, so Trey and Bobby and so on, seemed to do a little bit better because they could kind of rest it on there and then pivot and get their hands underneath it and then come up, and then you want to bring the elbows in and everything to go for the press. Right. But either way, doing a 300-pound block from right here, and there's no grips on it. There's no, it's just kind of resting on your palm basically, and then you're squeezing it. There's not really an easy way to do it.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, how do you think that plays into what will happen next year? You think they're going to take the same approach or change things up a bit?
I think watching the show, because it looks like they're going to keep doing the record breaker and everything, I have a feeling they're probably going to have the Mauser block in there just because it was such a deciding factor. It was it's just something that if you can get past it, everything else seemed manageable. Most of the guys blasted through the log and axle fairly quickly. So I have a feeling they're probably going to bring it back next year.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll adjust the weight down a little bit, even if it's like 25 pounds less or something. Yeah,
doing a 300-pound Mauser block, especially when most of the guys don't have access to one, is pretty rough to be.
The interesting thing we heard today is they say that Mauser isn't making them anymore. Like, so not only will guys not have access, they won't have access in the future either.
I know. I wonder if because of that, and maybe it's going to be increasing in popularity because of this, especially if they're going to be doing the record breaker each year and they're offering money. So if you can break the record, you can get cash. And in strongman, there's not a lot of ways to make cash. So I wonder if there's going to be a company that's going to step forward and start building them again because of that. But we'll see.
Yeah, I wonder. The Isaac block, right?
Hey, there you go. I know I'll have to create my own variation of it because I can't steal his copyright design. But
Yours will be a hexagon or something.
yeah, yeah, there you go. Or just make the feet longer or something, change some degree of it.
Yeah. Yep.
But
I'm checking on some of our special guests to see who's ready.
okay, yeah. Want to keep going through the deadlift medley as well. The deadly medley, yeah.
The deadly medley. It was pretty deadly for some guys.
It was, yeah. Yeah, that axle, same thing. Most of the guys were able to do the 870 or 870 on the bar, something like that.
The 9-inch deadlift was 800. The axle was 900.
Okay, yeah. So most of the guys seemed like they were able to do the regular deadlift, no problem, and then they got to the axle, and some of the guys were able to do it, but yeah, with that again, it seemed like it was the deciding factor.
It seemed like Bobby Thompson was the only person to get to the car lift.
Yeah,
which was they jazzed it up this year. It was an Audi.
Yeah, I have a feeling when I watched Bobby do it, he would have kept going if he had more time. He stopped at 5 reps or whatever, and
I felt like he didn't even stop for time. I felt like he stopped because he knew he was so far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, don't want to just waste energy on something if you already know that you're winning.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie Hall's made that philosophy famous, right? Like, I did as many Viking press reps in 2017 as I had to win, but I could have done more. So it's like that save your energy type philosophy.
Yeah. Well, and especially, with something like that too, especially when you're looking at the other events ahead of you, like they're all cardio strongman events. And so if you burn yourself out early, you don't have anything left in the tank. So yeah, you need to walk that line. You need to make sure that you do enough to win the event, but not enough to fatigue you for future events. And I think that also hurt some of the people because they were doing the record breakers beforehand. And then when they went into the events, I think a couple of them were just already kind of shot, kind of burnt out. But that's just my observation from the outside looking in.
Right. Yeah. So let's go back to some of the other events. So that's the deadlift medley, and then in terms of the there was the farmers and there was the carry. So the carry medley, I found, I think this is kind of the theme of the whole contest for me. And Brian Shaw talked about this this philosophy of thirds, like you should have a third of the guys or girls, are like really struggling, can't do the movement, and some of them do it barely, and some of them master it. And like that sort of happened here. Like some of the weights seemed like they were just impossible for everybody. And the stone medley looked like that. Like very few. Did anybody even finish all the stones?
I think I thought there was just one person. Oh, maybe not. No, because there were 4 implements, right? And the furthest anyone got was 150.
Okay.
So yeah, so the furthest anyone got was 3 implements. Yeah, and that's another one where that's another thing too, because it's it's your 4th event in, and they expect you to sprint 200 feet carrying all these heavy weights. Like, yeah, strongmen don't exactly do much distance work. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I was just checking in on some of our guests, and so Katie Chaos, or Katie Rogers is her actual name, who won her division today and has been extremely popular in the live chat during the contest. As far as views of the video I made about her, she's just like all around really popular. So I just reached out to her. She's one of our interviews for today. And she said, "Oh, we're in a restaurant. Is that all right?" I'm like, "No, eat. Like you worked hard."
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I know that's my thing after doing powerlifting or strongman or anything like that. You've been working out off and on, because even if you're not competing during the actual event, you're trying to stay warm between events or something like that. And so you never have a good time to actually just sit down and eat a meal. And when it's an 8-hour day or something like that, like by the time it's over, you're famished.
Yeah. She actually just said they're still waiting for their food, so they're going to put their AirPods in and jump in 5 minutes. So
hey, let's go for it. Yeah.
I'm going to assume, since they're BFFs, that Aleila Worley's with her and she'll come in as well, because she's our other interview, or one of our other interviews.
Yeah, 2 for 1 stone. There you go.
Both winning their divisions.
Yeah, both had fantastic showings. I was really impressed.
How cool is that? Like, friends go in and they both win their divisions. We'll talk about this when Kadi comes on, but her first competition in strongwoman.
Yeah. Well, and she's done roller derby is what she's done before this. Yeah.
I'm gonna get her to talk about that. I actually am looking for footage. I've seen it live a few times and I really like it. So I want to see her compete in that.
It's crazy. I've been to a couple roller derby competitions and they go nuts out there. So I'm like, this gets intense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I went to one. I think it was in Manhattan where I went. It was years ago, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But so actually, while we wait, why don't we discuss something else? So I'm gonna pop it up on the bottom of the screen. So Isaac, what was your favorite Mammoth Strength Challenge V event and why?
Well, I was really excited for the arm over arm. Actually, I was kind of bummed that the pros didn't do that one. I'd say probably though the press medley was my favorite, just because when you actually see them press the Mauser block, like it happens so rarely in any of the classes, and the majority of the classes weren't able to press it. And so when you actually see someone press it and you start to get a feeling for how difficult that actually is and how much of an accomplishment that actually is, that was really cool. You get really excited for that athlete because they actually pressed that weight, so
right.
And also overhead press is probably my worst event. All the other ones, deadlift and farmers and yoke and all that sort of stuff, I'm like, I can probably do that. Whereas press, I'm like, that's not my best event.
Yeah, I don't have that issue because they're all my worst event.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that too, I guess. But yeah, and I'm not doing a 900-pound axle bar deadlift or anything like that yet. Maybe in another year or two, maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the 900-pound axle seemed like it was challenging even for the best in the country. So
yeah, and some of those guys have done 1,000 pounds on the deadlift before, and they couldn't do it. So that kind of gives you an idea. And axle bar deadlift is just a completely different beast because you're so used to squeezing in and everything, and it gives these muscles an optimal length and all that. And so then everything's used to firing a specific way, and then all of a sudden you change the diameter, and so nothing up the kinetic chain fires the same way. It fires differently, and it throws everything off. So
I got to cut you off because we have 2 guests.
Let's do it.
Let's bring them both in. How about that? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And hello, special guests.
Hey, hello.
Congrats to both of you winning your divisions. Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Kadi, especially 4 out of 5, huh? Like it's like nobody else was there.
Easy breezy. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. It was really hard.
Very humble. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, Isaac is from Hunger Smash Fitness. He's another YouTuber. I don't know if you've ever come across him before, but he actually does some amateur strongman himself. And so I bring him on as to kind of check my knowledge on this stuff. But yeah, I think first we were wondering, just to whoever wants to go first, like a little bit about your background, like anything you want to share on how you got into strong woman, strongman, whatever you want to call it. Like what drew you to it?
So I guess I can go first. I actually lost a ton of weight at like a boot camp gym, and I had a coach there who was trying to teach me CrossFit, and he said it wasn't my gig. He was like, "Don't do this. This is not for you. You're not good at this." And he was a strongman coach at another gym, and so he was like, "Come hang out with us, powerlifters, this big dudes on the weekend, and we can lift these stones." I was like, no, I'm good." But I signed up for a competition, and I tested all of the implements and just fell in love as soon as I started on that list. So that's kind of where I started. I started in 2018.
Nice. And then, how did you find out about Mammoth? Like, what intrigued you about Mammoth the most?
So I found out about Mammoth by Dave when I did the Music City's Strongest Man in 2019. And so I was supposed to do it last year in 2020, but I wasn't able to make it up for that. And then so I wanted to make sure that I did it this year because I told him I would. So that's why I did it.
Nice. That's awesome. So talk a little bit about how it went today compared to your prep. Like, did it go as you expected? Did you feel ready? How did it all play out? And just give us your thoughts.
Yeah, so going into today, I thought I was going to compete with the heavyweights, but it ended up being we only had one other person in the heavyweight division, so they lumped us all together in a women's open, which is all middleweight and heavyweight women. So there's a total of 8 of us going through the events, and I knew I was going to do pretty well on the pressing event, although the Viking press had to be a little heavier than what they had listed just because there were so many really strong women that failed that. So I can't imagine they were failing at 125 pounds. So it definitely had to be heavier than that. So the pressing event, I was actually fairly confident in going into that. The weights are very doable for me. The deadlift event, deadlift is not my thing. I've been working on it with my coach for the last 2 years, and we had to break it down from the beginning and work it up. So the deadlift always makes me nervous, but that one I did pretty okay on. And then running into all the farmers, oh good lord. Okay, so those handles are not something I'm used to. The handles I have that I work with in my home gym, they at least have a little bit of grip. Sorry, Katie's smiling across the table at me. They have a little bit of grip, and they are top loaded and not front and back loaded. So that was a big difference for me because my weights fell off when I was carrying them, and that really threw me off. I have to keep picking them back up after putting them back together. So my weights fell apart about, I guess, 20 feet in. I made another 5 feet. So I only made it to 25 feet on that. And I was actually pretty confident on that event. So going into that, I didn't think I would have a problem, and stuff happened. So that one.
So wait, what did they do when the weights fell off? Did they put them back on and you continue, or that's it for the run?
Yeah, they put them back on, and our time didn't stop. They put them back on, and we just kept going. We tried to go, but I wasn't the only one that they fell apart on. So
that's crazy.
There, yeah, it wasn't a good experience in that aspect, but it was good to know that stuff can happen, right? You just can't anticipate it. So the event after that was the carry medley, and I actually felt like I would do better than I actually did on this one, but I was tired. We didn't have a lot of time to warm up. We didn't have a lot of time to touch instruments. I would say probably 10, 15 minutes maybe total in between each sprint. So the women went through really quick. If anybody was watching, you would see that we didn't get a lot of pause or a lot of break. We got to change our shoes and jump right back in. So there wasn't a lot of time there, but I did finish it, which was good. I think I came in second on that one. And then the tire. Oh, so I know that third tire that they used. That was the tire that I failed in Music City Strongest in 2019. So when I saw them bring that thing out, it doesn't have any tread on it. So picking it up, I was like, I have to get this tire. I did flip it twice on my second flip, but it didn't count. it flipped and it has to land within the 60 seconds, and I flipped it and it didn't land. So that's how it went.
Wait, but my records say you won tire.
I did flip the tire. Okay. I flipped it 5. I actually flipped it 6 times, but only 5 of my 6 flips counted because the last one didn't land. Yeah.
And then you were second on Stone Medley, right?
Yeah, I was second to oh God, Megan. Was that her name, Megan Hogg? I think yes. I think she took first. Holy cow, she's like stormed through that. That was amazing.
And she's a middleweight. She's supposed to come on tonight as well. Yeah. But yeah, she's a middleweight, right?
Yeah, she is. Yep.
That's crazy. Wow. Awesome. Yeah, it's like a little when I first saw that, it's a little weird that they mixed up the 2 weight classes together. Do you know why that happened?
Honestly, no, because I didn't think they anticipated doing that. I thought that was made kind of clear initially on the Facebook page, but maybe I was reading it incorrectly. But because of the Arnold bids, I thought they were not going to combine classes, but they ended up combining ours, and we still didn't even have enough to do a bid, so I'm not sure.
Right. Hey, Isaac, you want to jump in a little bit before we move over to Kadi?
I was just saying, talking about the farmers' handles falling apart. The first strongman contest I did, when they were warming up, there was a truck pull at the beginning, and that was the first event. And the harness kept falling apart. Like the straps were literally just popping off. And so you'd be sitting there tugging, trying to get all warm, and then all of a sudden the harness is just gone. You're like, thankfully, I don't think with any of the heavyweight men, I don't think it popped off. But I think there were a couple people during the competition where the harness would just pop apart. And so I thought it was funny during the live stream. They kept talking about the spud ink harnesses and make sure that you have a high quality harness. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Aleila, the last thing I wanted to ask you are what exciting things do you have on the horizon after that?
So there is a competition that I'm interested in doing. It's called Pandemic Performance, I believe. And that is going to be in March. And I think I'm going to go for that one. And I don't know if I'm going to try middleweight or heavyweight because I do both classes.
Yeah, was this your first heavyweight, or you kind of have gone back and forth?
So unfortunately, this is actually not. Every one that I've ever tried to compete heavyweight in, I've been combined. So I was hoping this is the first time I wouldn't be.
That's crazy. That's fun. Awesome. All right. So let's move over to Kadi then. Let me unmute you. There you go. I'm just trying to prevent all the audio feedback. So Kadi, like, you are by far the most popular of all the spotlight videos I did. Everybody wants to know about you. Tell us all about your background. I'm really interested in Coach Isaac about your roller derby background. I've been looking for footage.
Yeah, I do come from a derby background, but 2020, and COVID kind of canceled our season. Along with, I broke my leg on leap day and had to have surgery in March. So, yeah, derby's not quite a thing right now, so I picked up strongman to, I needed something to do after 6 months of being sedentary.
Did Aleila convince you?
She did convince me. She's been working on me for like a year, so she finally got me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
so, yeah, that's how I got into it.
What a heck of a first show.
Yeah, it was a good one. I can't complain.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I mean, from a broken leg, your first show, and then you still kill everybody. Like that's just congratulations to you, for real.
Thank you.
How long ago did you say that you? Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say, how long ago did you say that you broke your leg?
I broke it on leap day of last year, and it was actually in Lexington, Kentucky. So this was like just shy of a 1-year anniversary, and back in Kentucky. Wow. So no better way of celebrating it.
Yeah. That's a pretty good recovery.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was 6 months of torture. I broke it in 3 places and had pins and screws put in my ankle. So I'm just happy it's still working.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what do you like best about the sport?
About the sport?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. That's a hard one. I mean, I just love challenging myself and pushing my body to the limit, I guess. I did that with Derby, and I guess it has like that equal challenge to it.
Yeah.
And then the people.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I like the community the best. Like no other sport has such nice people like this.
That's what. Well, Derby is a close equal, but I agree. Yeah, that's what brought me into both of them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then I guess so. Same question as I asked Aleila. What attracted you to Mammoth? Is it because you followed her there, or something?
I followed her there completely. No, she was like, there's a competition in Kentucky. We have 4 months to train for it. Come on, do it. And I was like, okay. So that's how she got me.
Do you train together?
Yeah, we do. Most weekends. During the week, we touch and go. But I also do CrossFit, and so I kind of balance out with that. But then on the weekends, I strictly do strongman training with her.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't train with Isaac because I'm not in his league.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
Yeah, that's fun. Isaac, what questions do you have?
I don't know, man. So you do CrossFit and strongman, or strong woman?
Yeah. Near the end, I had to back off CrossFit a little bit just to strictly strength train. But yeah, I tried to balance it the whole 4 months. So. Yeah.
So at the gym that you're at, do you have a pretty? Are there a lot of people that train strongman out there, or
no? Chattanooga doesn't
just you
have
guys
that
in
all.
the corner?
Yeah, Aleila actually, I got lucky, and she owns most of the implements, and that's how she kind of wrote me into it, I guess. And
nice.
So I got lucky.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah. It is. There's no gyms around here.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask both of you is how much there was a lot of talk about the dirt floor. How much do you think the dirt floor kind of played into how well people did?
Yeah, I think it made a huge difference. Those tire limbs, I know that's something me and her can both do, and it made it astronomically harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't drive like normal, so.
I can see that.
Cool. All right. So what's next on the horizon for you? Any competitions planned?
That's a good question. I actually have to have a little minor surgery on my leg again in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So hopefully it'll be a shorter recovery time. I'm actually getting all the hardware taken out. I have a screw that's kind of starting to come out on me. So fun times. But I should hopefully be back at it in like 4 to 6 weeks.
No problem. You'll just win another competition after that one.
Say what?
You'll just win another competition after that surgery. No problem.
Well, I don't know, because now I'm being told I can't compete on this anymore.
No?
Can't compete.
We don't know who's going to win.
Let's see. So, yeah. So, Aleila, what are the rules there on not being able to compete novice?
So my understanding is once you win the novice division, you have to compete open unless you leave the sport and you have like a hiatus for a couple of years and you come back or something of that nature. So otherwise, you do have to compete open.
Yeah.
So that leads me to an interesting question. Was that your path? Did you win novice and move up to open?
I did, but I won novice so I did my first 3 shows that I did. I was a novice competitor, and that 3rd show I did win. I did win first place in that show, but it was in a different federation. It was the United States Strongman, so it was the USS. And then after that, my coach was just like, "Why did you compete so many times novice? Because she made me feel really bad." So I went open after that. Actually got my butt kicked by one of my best friends, and so carried on to that. This is the first time as an open class that I've was able to get first place.
Yeah, go ahead, Isaac. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say that's a fantastic showing. That's the same thing that that I've heard too. Is like once you win novice. You can't compete as a novice anymore. Which is kind of, I know, talking to some other people that are in the sport and stuff, because there's a lot of people that are just a little bit better than the novice, but they're not quite, they'd be last of the pack in the open, and so they want to just hang out and keep winning novice over and over. And I know most of the guys I've talked to that have been in it for a while, they're like, no, just go do open. If you come in last, whatever. Like, just keep rolling with it.
Yeah, actually, I did want to circle back because it was not in the bag for me. The girl that came in second place, she was from the team division and was 14 years old. And
I saw that. That's crazy.
So I did not think I was going to win.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Crazy. So, one question. Okay, you said there's a screw in your ankle that's backing out.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that. You said what about my ankle?
You said that there's a screw in your ankle that's backing out that you need to get surgery on. Yeah. So are they just going to pull it out the rest of the way then?
Yeah, I actually have 3 screws in plate and tight rope, and so I think they're taking it all out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I work in physical therapy, and so I've actually had a lot of people that come in and do that, and that's actually a super easy recovery process.
Okay.
Because basically,
that's good to know.
yeah, basically you just have to recover from the flesh wound, from the skin being upset. Yeah. Once all the bones are healed up, and as long as the plate's stable and everything, like there's if the screw's bugging you, most of the time they'll just take it out. But
yeah, sorry, you're thinking in December, so we just set something up to get it taken out. And I was hoping long run it would be better for mobility anyways.
Yeah, and once the bone is healed, there's not really a reason for the screw to be there, and so
right.
Yeah, might as well get it taken out. But so I had one other question actually. How hungry are you after your competition? Because you've been there for 8 hours or whatever without being able to eat a good meal. What's on the menu for tonight, I guess?
Oh, Mexican, and we're getting ready. We're drinking, so food's on the way.
Nice. I was actually Katie. I was on the live chat. I was chatting with your mom. She's sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. Hey, Mom.
She was cheering you on.
Yeah, she's very supportive. Nice. All right. Well, I don't want to hold you both up from your meal for too long. So thank you so much for dropping by. I'm going to be bugging you on Instagram like crazy, and appreciate it. Congratulations again on your awesome performance.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Enjoy your meals. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Nice.
That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they both did amazingly well. It was interesting talking to them more and getting more of their perspective on that.
Yeah. Good interview.
Yeah. Who else did you have lined up too? I can't remember.
I had Lisa Coro. She hasn't answered me yet. Let me try Megan Hug and see what she's up to.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear my little boy in the background? He's babbling away.
I didn't hear him.
Oh, 2-year-olds. They're fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a bummer about Travis too with his bicep.
It is. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard whether he's going to need surgery on it or not, or if it's just something that he can kind of just deal with and it'll go away.
Right.
But we'll see.
Yeah, let me give Marcus a shout too.
Sure. There we go. I just realized that my name was still up from last time. Changed it back to what it's supposed to be.
Let me. I gave him the link a few days ago, so let me get him the link again.
Okay. Yeah, Marcus did pretty well overall.
He did. He did. He actually, wait, didn't he? He came in third, which is what I predicted.
Right. Yeah.
Well, yay for me.
Yeah, I know. There's a win for you.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we'll try to get him in. We'll try to get Megan in. And then we have Jamie Wilson, also Brownsville Brute.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'll try to get him in as well. I'm trying not to reach out to everybody at once because we don't want them all arriving at once.
Try not to overwhelm the stream with them.
Yeah. Well, I don't want them waiting for each other, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
There we go. Just adjusting my lights down a little bit. I think they were a little bright. Does that look all right? Or too dark?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, good.
No, I think that looks fine.
All right. Let's see. Actually, if they aren't answering, they might be eating as well, so I can reach out to Jamie. Well, you know what? Why don't we just go through some more predictions while we're at it?
Sure. Yeah.
And so let's go ahead and share that. All right. So, yeah, as I said, I had Marcus third, and that's what happened. We're saying we think Wesley came in fourth or fifth, actually, right? So I got that one very wrong.
Yeah. Wesley came in fifth, which I wonder how much of that was, maybe he was having a bad day, but he did the record breakers beforehand, and that's the trouble, though, is there's so many times where day of the competition, so many different factors, and if they don't line up correctly, then it can either be a fantastic day or it can go horribly.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think because Stan, I think, did finish last, right? Yeah. So Stan was last. Because Stan, I think, did finish last, right?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, so then, so I had Marcus correct. I had Stan correct. We have to adjust for the fact that Gabe and Josh weren't here, so that would make Travis fifth, but in fact, we think he's fourth. Close.
Right. Yeah, that was a close prediction.
Right. I think really the ones I got very wrong are Trey and Wesley Claiborne.
Yeah. Because Bobby, yeah. Other than that, I think everything else is pretty spot on, actually.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder, let's break down how it all adds up and whether I got it in a different way or in the right way. So, yeah, so Bobby, I had third place in the overhead, and he won the overhead, didn't he?
Yeah, let me pull that back up. Let me see. So, Trey won the overhead, and Marcus came in second, and then Bobby was tied with everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Trey came in first with that. Which Trey, yeah, I think he just ran out of time on the Viking press. I think he was probably going to just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like we said, I think it's that Mauser block that separated everyone in that one.
Yeah, I think so too. It'd be interesting when Marcus is ready to come on. Hopefully, I wouldn't blame some of these competitors if they don't, because like they're probably tired and out to dinner and whatnot. But we'll do our best.
Yeah. Yeah, and then so how did you have? Well, let's go through the deadlift medley.
Yeah, so the deadlift medley, I had Gabe Pena winning it. So in his absence, I would have Bobby Thompson winning it, which he did.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you called that one, right?
Right. And then I had Travis right after that, after Bobby.
Okay. Yeah. And Travis tied with Wesley and Trey. They both, they were able to get the regular deadlift. They weren't able to get the axle.
And that was a tie right behind Bobby, correct? So
yeah.
So not as many points, but the right order.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And then I had, you said Travis and Wesley. Yeah, so I had Travis and then Wesley. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then I had Trey after that. So how does that compare?
So all three of them were able to do the deadlift, the regular bar deadlift, but unable to complete the axle.
Yeah, so you know what this is? This is actually my bad in creating the points because I didn't take into account a medley event where it's very possible that people tie in what they can accomplish. So I didn't do like the half point, which I should have.
Yeah, it's so hard to call that though. Like,
yeah. I remember I did it for Shaw, but I didn't get a chance to do it here because, frankly, I was devoting a lot of time to really trying to bring these athletes the attention they deserve for all their hard work, right? And I did 27 videos for this contest. Yeah. And so I did my best on scoring predictions, in the minutes I had left without sleeping.
Yeah, you were pumping out videos pretty fast, so that was impressive.
I appreciate it. I put out 3 this morning, actually, after the contest started.
Man.
Yeah, I really wanted to make sure and get some of the record breakers out there. Like Gabrielle Buhlholzer was crazy. And Jessica Fithen, did you see her Mauser press?
No, I haven't yet.
See if you can, I don't want to unshare this spreadsheet. Can you see if you can find it on the official one? And I saw her in prep. So the ladies' record was 175, and she was doing 205 in prep without a problem. So I said she's definitely going to break this record, and she did.
Which one? Let me see. So you said Jessica Fithen?
Yeah. So it would be Mauser block overhead press record breakers for.
So she got 220.4 on that.
That was the one where we were trying to decide if we had heard 220 or 240. Do you remember?
Right.
Yeah. So,
which is a crazy amount of weight, though.
I was going to say, think about that. The record was 175. Think about how much more 220 is.
That's like Eddie Hall doing the 500 kilogram deadlift. It's the thing that should get recognized. Whether it will, I think that part of the problem with the Mauser is like not enough people really care about it because hardly anyone has access to one. Whereas a deadlift, everybody does deadlift, and so it gets a lot more popularity.
I mean, like I'm not competitive, and even I do deadlift.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when you start breaking records in things that nobody else knows about, it's hard to get publicity for it.
Yeah, definitely. So let me see what Jamie Wilson's up to.
Yeah.
right, we'll see what he says.
Okay.
Lisa and Marcus train together, so that's probably why they're both not answering me. Wherever one is, the other probably is.
Yeah, right. Grabbing dinner somewhere.
Probably. So my question is for you: how big is the steak that Marcus Crowder's eating right now?
It's got a 64-ounce steak somewhere that he's devouring.
Yeah,
I know, like, because after my competitions and stuff, like, as soon as you stop moving and stop working out and everything, during the award ceremony and stuff, all you can think about is food, and you're just like, I am so starving right now. And because during the competition, you're sitting there, you're trying to eat cookies or like light stuff that has some energy but isn't gonna make you puke during the next event. So it's hard trying to keep that tank as full as possible. Yeah, and so as soon as everything stops moving, you're like, I need to eat now. And yeah, I think one time we went, I can't remember. We went to like a burger joint somewhere, and I don't remember how many burgers I ate. It was just like, please just keep it coming. I'm famished. So yeah, I bet he's eating a lot at the moment.
Yeah. Actually, I am remiss because I didn't mention there were a lot of really nice comments for Kadi and Aleila when they were on here. Yeah, like you killed it, and a lot of people are really rooting for them, and who wouldn't, right? Like they're extremely talented and they're extremely great people too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're both super nice and down to earth, and haven't let the fame and publicity get to their heads yet. So
wait until we bring them all to the mainstream, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, right. Well, I think we have to go mainstream first to bring other people into the mainstream.
Well, I haven't checked my subscriber count yet, so anybody who's on here, please, I'm going to ask, subscribe. We're doing our best to bring you some awesome content, great interviews, great spotlight videos. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and both of us appreciate it. Isaac's over at Hunger Smash Fit, so subscribe here, subscribe there as well. We really appreciate it.
Oh yeah. If you have anything you want to know about too, I've done video things, videos on overhead pressing or whatever else. If you have a topic that you're interested in, let me know. Comment me, either hit me up on my Instagram or something. Let me know somehow, and I'll try and get something made up for you. But.
Yeah, Isaac is good for some unconventional stuff too. So he did a video on Jefferson deadlift. So just really interesting things that you may not have thought of to try.
Yeah, exactly. Had really mixed reviews of the Jefferson deadlift. I know on a couple of the forums and stuff that people found out about my video, and some people loved it and some people thought it was the stupidest thing ever. So I was like, well, at least you have an opinion one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, like, I had never tried it before, and I liked it because I feel like you place the center of gravity right under you rather than trying to balance while you're also lifting.
Yeah. So it's a little bit more like a trap bar deadlift is good for that too, where it kind of changes the pull a little bit. So it's a little easier on your back. But yeah, some people have extremely strong opinions about it apparently. So thought that was quite funny.
They called it stupid, really?
Not directly stupid, but just they didn't like it. So, but hey, teach their own. And that's the beauty of strongman is, strongman's all about doing those weird lifts that no one else is doing, or picking up those awkward rocks that no one else wants to pick up. And so you're always you're looking for funky stuff to do that that's fun.
Yeah, have you followed the Howard brothers at all? They do all kinds of, like, what is it, the Arthur lift and the Zurcher lift, and really things from the days of old.
Yeah, I've trained Zurcher a little bit. I've never really trained Arthur much. Zurcher's kind of fun, actually. Yeah, it's just different. Maybe I'll do a video on a Zercher squat at some point too.
Yeah.
But
awesome. So so what is our prognosis here? How did I do with my predictions? What's your final thought there?
You were I mean, other than Trey and Wesley, you were pretty spot on actually. And I mean, like in your predictions, you had Wesley and Bobby tying for first. So technically you got that correct because Bobby did win. So there you go. Yeah, I'm not sure what was up with Wesley today. I expected him to do a lot better. He really struggled with a lot of the events, and that's part of the problem too. Is like if you really struggle with one or two events, it can really set you back quite a bit. And especially when they only did 4 events total, having one bad event carries a lot more weight. But yeah, Trey's really been developing nicely as a strongman. I noticed that just because seeing him last year in World's Strongest Man, you're like, all right, you know, he's good, but he's not great. And then watching him this year, and then watching him at the Shaw Classic and stuff, he's really come a long way in the last little bit.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, I mean, I gotta, let's see, let's go here. I got to take some credit over here, too, for a guess that we just had. I predicted those.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I had, let's see how many events I had Kadi winning. So I had her winning overhead. I had her winning deadlift. I had her winning farmers. I had her winning everything, I think. And she won 4.
Yeah. Which one did she not win? Let me...
I think it was
was it? Yeah. So in the press medley, she got second. Which, and even with that, I mean, it wasn't by much. It still wasn't a. Looks like she got 2 reps on the Viking press, and then Samantha Davis came in and got, what is that? 4 reps, 5 reps.
Yeah, the thing that made it tough too is there was a little bit of I don't want to call it switching around of weight classes, but like maybe incorrect listings. So,
yeah,
for example, Kristine Ann Matthews was listed as a lightweight, and I reached out to her on Facebook after I saw her deadlift, and I'm like, there ain't no way that a lightweight can deadlift this much. And she's like, no, I'm actually a middleweight. I'm like, all right, your deadlift is still otherworldly for a middleweight, but thanks for letting me know. And,
yeah.
and then like you have the spreadsheet up, right? And then if you look at what happened where they mixed the middleweights and heavyweights together, she still came in, I believe, second to Aleila, even competing against the heavyweights.
Yeah. Yeah, she came in second, and only by 1.5 points, like not by a lot. Because you have some competitions where the first place finisher is 5 points ahead of anyone else or whatever.
Her deadlift at middleweight is 460, and she told me she attempted and failed on 475.
That's crazy.
Crazy. It's like an insane amount of strength.
Yeah, that's strong. That's really strong.
Yeah, you should actually follow her on Instagram. She's Panda Small but Swole.
I'll have to look her up.
Yeah. But yeah, that was interesting too. So I don't know, like what are your other thoughts as we wait for our guest to arrive?
Well, let's go through here. Let's see. Yeah, because Aleila, well, she won the press, and then she got 3rd in the deadlift, 5th in the farmers, 2nd in the carry.
Yeah, so how did I know that they mixed middleweight and heavyweight together, but kind of in the grand scheme of that mixture, how did Lisa Coro do?
So Lisa Coro was 6th total.
And then can you tell if it were just against middleweights where she would have been?
Let me see. She would be 4th against middleweights.
So what are the 1, 2, 3 middleweights on that list?
So Kristine Matthews is the #1 middleweight, and then Megan Hogg is the second, and Rosemary Dillon is the third.
And I couldn't find Rosemary on IG to do a prediction about her, unfortunately, but it seems like she did really well.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, because she got 6th, and then 5th, and then 4th, and then 3rd and 3rd.
Yeah, here, I'll go ahead and do that.
Consistently getting better. That's a nice way to go.
Yeah, so this is the correct list, right? Where they've mixed the middleweights and the heavyweights.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah. Let's see. Oh wait, that one is slightly different than the one. Did you update yours?
Let me go ahead and update it now. No, I had an incorrect one because on my version, Anna Tapper was second, but now I refreshed and she's third.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
That was another one. So actually, thanks to Aleila Worley for that. I didn't even know about Anna Tapper. She wasn't on the list on the Facebook page for Mammoth. So
really?
Aleila told me. Yeah, Aleila told me about her leading into it, and that's what led me to make a video about Anna. Like Aleila told me, hey, there's this other competitor in my weight class that you should know about. So that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Like they're competing, but they're also kind of looking out for each other.
Oh, that's something that I love about strongman is like, yeah, like, I mean, and Travis talked about this too when I interviewed him, where, yeah, it's like, why break someone down or something? Like everyone's competing together. And yeah, when you're neck and neck, like when you're both in the arena, both going at it, you're trying to destroy the other one or whatever. But as soon as you step out, like you want everyone else to be healthy. You're cheering everybody on. Like it's a big family in a lot of ways, a good family. I guess there's some families that are less functional, more dysfunctional, but yeah, like it's great. Like they're really backing each other up and everything. So
yeah, I'm seeing Instagram posts by like Grant Higa and other people that competed today. Talk about him. You have an experience with Grant Higa, don't you?
Yeah, so he ran the competition, and he's a super nice guy, super down to earth, easy to talk to. And it was funny because at the meet when I was there were a lot of people that were struggling on more of the moving events. And so at the end of the contest, he pulled, especially all the bigger guys aside and talked to them for a while about the importance of training like sled and moving events and all this sort of stuff. And it was really interesting, having him talk about that and everything. And he's a heavier guy. He's a pretty big guy. But then seeing him today when he was on the yoke and everything, and he's blasting through there, I was like, all right, well, at least you practice what you preach, at least. Like,
he competed masters, right?
What's that?
He competed masters, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure which class. I don't remember seeing him on the score sheet.
Yeah, I didn't.
Masters heavyweight, I guess, but.
I knew about him because John Greaves, the producer of the live stream, told me about how big of a fan he was when he and I had our interview together, where he interviewed me. But that's how I knew about Grant. But then I looked at him and I couldn't find him on the competitor list either. On the
yeah, I don't see him on here. So I'm not sure unless there was another. Yeah, I don't see him anywhere. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's cool that you had that interaction with him.
But yeah, he's a great guy. I'm really hoping I can get him on my channel too and get an interview with him. But we'll see. It just
he's in Hawaii, right?
He's Hawaiian. I think he's living in Washington somewhere right now because a lot of the training videos and stuff that he puts up are from around Seattle area. So
oh, really?
I'm not completely sure where he's living at the moment. I don't know. I don't stalk him that closely. So but nice guy though.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some more of the record breakers. So I have a pretty strong opinion on the sandbag record breaker. Do you?
I understand why they went to that weight, but at the same time, I don't. I think they should have dropped the weight a little bit, and yeah. I don't know.
I just feel like I understand as well. Like they're trying to set a high standard that is not easy to break, but I think that when you do so, for those of you that aren't aware, it was a new record that doesn't exist yet. And so what the record is it's a 500-pound sandbag that has to be lifted and placed on top of a 54-inch pin. And so the way that they accomplish that is because if you've ever seen a strong man lift a 300-pound bag or even a 400-pound bag, they're of a certain volume, right? A certain size. And so making a 500-pound bag would be like a body bag size. It would be just impossible to get your hands around. So they changed the media. It's not actual sand. It's like a hybrid of something else, a matrix material. So you could make it like a 400-pound bag size, but 500 pounds. And I just felt when I heard that from the very beginning that it was too much to start with, because I think when you're establishing a new record, you start off with something reasonable and see what people can do with this new implement, right? And then move up from there. And I was thinking back, I was telling Isaac about it. I remember when they did the Strongest Man in History show. And so that show had Brian Shaw, Nick Best, Robert Oberst, and Eddie Hall on it. And they recreated like a Strongest Man from History event where I forgot which strongman it was. It wasn't Paul Anderson, but I forget which one it was.
I can't remember. No.
Yeah. So basically, the trick that this guy would do is he would go to his local bar and he would lift up. It was some crazy amount, like 480-pound sandbag, and walk around the bar with it. And so I guess the guys there determined that it's impossible that actually happened, but they were going to try 400. And so I believe only Nick Best and Robert Oberst were able to do it. And that's 400. Yeah. We're talking about 500 now, which is it's a huge difference.
Yeah, I think, and especially like if this was at, if this was at like World's Strongest Man or something like that, where you could do World's Strongest Man, and at the, afterwards, we're going to do, like, sometimes they do it at the Arnold and stuff like that, do like a record breakers and stuff like that, where people come in specially for that, where they've trained for it more and everything. I could see it being more plausible. But I just feel like 500 was too much to try and establish the bar. I think it would have gone better if they would have done like a 460, because that's still above. I think the heaviest bag they've done in competition ever is like a 360 or something like that, and so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they've done heavier, but off the top of my head, that's all I can think of. And so I can see maybe say like a 460 or something like that, where it's like, okay, it's still heavy. It's still a massive bag, but it's not going to be impossible, I guess.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean so for those that aren't aware, the cool thing about the record breakers at Mammoth is that they pay out, and I believe it's $1,000 for breaking the record. And what happens next year, even if that athlete who broke the record doesn't attend and no one else re-breaks the record, they get paid again. So, which I think is an awesome idea that David Waters at Mammoth, the promoter, put together for the competitor.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. And especially, like I said, like there's not a lot of money in the strongman. And so it's cool that they're willing to do something like this and give people the opportunity to make some extra cash, but yeah, and I forget who all tried it. I think Trey Mitchell tried it, and Wesley Claiborne
tried it. Yeah.
Yeah. And was there one other, or was that it?
I thought that was it. Let's see. I actually have the list of who was supposed to try it. So let me just take a quick look. And now things changed because Steve Schmidt, who was, I believe he's the record holder for the overhead Mauser, he showed up. Like, I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I knew a couple days ago that he was going to make a surprise appearance. Yeah, so I found out about that. He's the current record holder, and basically, like, he let on, like, I may show up and try to, like, compete with these guys and break my own record. So that was exciting.
And he did.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, there's a record by weight, and then there's an open record, right? So I found it a little hard to follow. How about you?
Yeah, and at least it's not to powerlifting's level yet, where powerlifting, you know, there's a different class every 10 pounds, and then there's different federations, and there's different, you know, and like everybody has their own set of records. So basically, if you show up and you're semi-unique in some way, you can probably set a record. At least strongman's not to that point yet. But yeah, it does seem like they keep adding more classes and everything, and yeah, it makes it more confusing, especially when you consider how much all the implements are different too. So there's, you know, stone to shoulder, then there's overhead, and then there's different natural stones. So if you do a different natural stone to shoulder, there's different records for that. Yeah, there's getting to be more and more records.
Right. So now, if you look at this spreadsheet, where I have the color is the person that was going to be competing in that. So I had only Wesley Claiborne competing in the sandbags.
Right. And I was just looking at the other spreadsheet, and they don't have Trey's name on the record as a record breaker, but he was up there trying to lift it as well. So I'm not sure if he was a last minute addition or.
I guess when you've been the world's strongest man, you have some pull and you say, hey, I want to lift that, and they'll let you.
Yeah, if he showed up day of and he was like, oh, that looks fun. I didn't know you were going to do that. Like,
you actually, I was going to ask, do you have the other spreadsheet up, or maybe I can? I'm very interested to see how Trey did on farmers, because that's been his nemesis lately, both at World's Strongest Man and Shaw.
Yeah, he zeroed out on that, and I didn't see, like, so everybody else except for Wesley Claiborne has a number next to their name. I didn't see him attempt it, so I don't know if he opted out or if he went when I wasn't looking somehow, because there was a lot going on the screen and everything. So maybe I missed him, but yeah, it just has a 0 next to him. So
yeah, which I unfortunately expected.
Yeah, I have a feeling he opted out of it. I wish he would have gone, because it would have been extra points since Wesley didn't go either. Even if you pick up the frame and go, well, you can see Stan made points and he went 9 feet. So, like they said during the competition a couple times, like, even if you get it across the starting line, it still counts. You still get inches. But
yeah, it is. That's the other thing I was going to ask you about. What do you think about the apparent opting out of things? Like, does that happen often in strongman? Because it seemed to happen more now that I've seen in other contests. Like,
yeah, at lower level competitions, it happens more. You're not going to see that as much at like World's Strongest Man or the Arnold or anything like that. Lower level competitions, well, I guess at nationals it doesn't happen as much, but like you will see that sometimes, especially if someone's doing really well, and then they have an event that they don't want to do for one reason or another. Sometimes they'll opt out, or sometimes what you'll see sometimes too is where if there's two leaders, you know, if it's co-leaders in a competition and there's an event that neither of them want to do, they'll both agree to do like one rep or something like that too. So they'll show up, they'll do it, and then just, you know, go on to the next event and not waste energy on it. Which with strongman, that's the thing too, is like there's a lot of strategy that's going into it, where, you know, if you're not doing, like Stanley was probably going all out with every single event, because if you're in last place, you need any points available. Whereas with some of the other competitors, you know, Bobby, you know, probably cut himself short on a couple different things, like on the deadlift and stuff. I think he just stopped after a couple reps with the SUV, or well, after 5 reps or whatever it was with the SUV. And so with some of the events and everything, you know, if you're already in the lead, why waste energy on it? So that could have been partly what Trey was doing with that. Wesley, I'm not sure about, and like I said, it was hard to see with the competition. So I'm not sure what all they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? So there was a lot going on, and I would say like even the commentary referred to the fact that there was a lot going on quite a bit. Like, did you do you feel like, I think it's like a double-edged sword, right? There's pros and cons. Like, do you feel like it's great because there's so much to pick from to look at, or it's too confusing? Like, where do you fall on that line?
It's a tough call, because I mean, yeah, it'd be easier if you split it up into 2 days, and had, you know, women or like lightweights and middleweights go one day and then heavyweights go the second day or something like that. It would be easier to split it up that way. But then you have to think, you know, you have to pay for everybody for the extra time. So all the staff and everything, they have to come out for a second day. You have to rent the building for a second day, and all that stuff is going to end up going back to the athletes. And so they're going to have to pay more to compete, or you're going to have to find more sponsors for it or something. Whereas the way they were running it, where there were usually like 3 different groups going at the same time, yeah, I mean, it's a tough call to make, where you have to do one or the other, basically.
Right.
But
yeah, I kind of feel like 2 days might have been a little better. It was not for the fact that there was too much going on, but for the fact that the event was very long.
Yeah, that too. Which, yeah, and splitting it into 2 days. Well, and this is Mammoth. This is only the 5th time they've done Mammoth, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Strength Challenge 5. So maybe as if Mammoth continues to grow, that might be an option that they want to look into in the future. But like I said, there's a lot of extra logistics that happens with that, and then you're going to need a lot of extra sponsors and everything else too to pay for everything.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Let's see. What other questions did I have that I wanted to go through?
No one else is replying yet?
Not yet. Actually, what's pretty cool though is I think I got Gabrielle Bullkozer to agree to another day's interview, so we can definitely get that one done.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, and she set a record today, didn't she? On the Mauser?
Yes. Let me look that up. Yeah, in the 180-pound women for 194.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of weight. And
again, I'm pretty sure the record was 175. Like, that's a huge increase.
Yeah, and I'm not sure like if that's what the previous record. Let me see. Okay, so for middleweight women, for the Mauser block records, the previous record was 158.
Wow.
And so she brought it up by almost 40 pounds, by 36 pounds.
Okay.
Which is
insane.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Which is insane. Yeah. Kudos, you know, that's all I can say. Like,
Yeah, where is, so I'm trying to look on here. So she would be middleweight women there. Okay. And then where are the results though?
A little bit further down for today's results.
There we go.
Under record attempts.
Attempt. Okay. Result 194. I was looking for Jessica Fitton. So there she is, 220.4. So she would be super heavyweight women. And then what was that record?
Well, and she was the one that had it before as well. So she had the 185.
Oh, did she really? Yeah, you're right. Look at that.
She set back in 2018, and then she broke her own record by bumping it up 35 pounds.
She blew that away. She blew it away.
Which is just ridiculous, you know. And I mean, even looking at Steve's record where he broke it by 15 pounds, like that's still a big jump too.
Yeah.
Like when you have a square, when you have a square blocky implement with no handles on it and no one else is training it, like it's just, and it's awkward, and I don't know. Yeah. There you go. How heavy is that?
My computer box. It's about 5 pounds.
Woo! He'll be breaking records in no time.
I just have to put a 25-pound plate in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I wonder how much the Mauser box weighs by itself. Like I would, if I bought one, I would just start with that, an empty box.
Yeah. Well, and just learning how to hold it and everything would be a great place to start. Yeah. I don't know how much it weighs, and I'm not sure what all they were putting inside it, because you could hear the weights jostling around inside them.
They're plates. So the way that it works, I actually went to the Mauser website and learned about it. The way that it works is the box has like, they're like hex bolts that close it, so it's like very securely closed. And then when you open the lid inside, you lay in weight plates on, like a stem, like the end of a bar would be. And then around it, it has like rubber bumpers to keep it from jostling around.
Okay. What type are they? Special weight plates? Because it almost doesn't look wide enough to hold like a regular, like a 45 or something like that.
It depends how much the box weighs on its own. They might be just stacks of 25s.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting. Yeah. I wish they still made those. I'd like to get my hands on one sometime.
Go to Mauser Dynamics right now and take a look. Why don't we?
Hey, there you go.
Let's see. Mauser Strength Dynamics. So let me share this. This will be interesting.
Yeah. So they said that they're not producing them anymore, huh?
That's what they said. Yeah. Which is interesting. So they have to keep the ones they have safe for next year.
Yeah, right. Don't let the toddler hide one of those hex bolts, because that's a safety issue. That's our problem around the house, is that the 2-year-old gets his hands on stuff, and then all of a sudden you don't know where it went.
2-year-old could be out the block.
Yeah, right. Not yet, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. I got the website up. Let's see what we have. Let's share that. All right. And then let me know. You should be able to see it now.
Yep. There you go. Mauser Strength Dynamics.
All right. So Mauser block as products. Oh, so there's a mini block also.
I wonder if that's what the women were using then, because a lot of times they'll differentiate that way. But
yeah, it actually says here. I mean, it hasn't been updated for today, obviously, but the website says the heaviest block ever pressed was Steve Schmidt.
Well, then it says going undefeated until blank 125 2020. So then a year later he took it back.
Yeah. I think Justin Kielhofer also competed today and also was not on the list as a competitor.
Yeah.
That was part of the inside info I had as well. Basically, like Justin Kielhofer, who had this record, is going to show up and surprise everybody, and so is Steve Schmidt. So When I say I'm not going to tell something ahead of time, I don't tell it. I'm a man of my word.
There you go. So
Yeah,
let's look at this.
So here, like, this is what I was saying with the feet. So you can kind of get your fingers under there, but I didn't give enough respect to the fact that you're flipping it over onto your chest and bending backward.
Yeah, I know. It's very awkward.
Yeah, plate loads from 120 to 370 with standard plates, and more can be added with other means. So what does other means mean? Like you press it up and somebody lays a plate on top of it?
Yeah, right. Probably, I'm assuming they're talking about like putting lead shot or something in there, or maybe there's something else that they can sell that you can go with. But what's it made out of?
I believe it's steel.
Steel. Wow.
Yeah, I don't see what it weighs on its own though.
Well, I'm assuming unloaded would probably be the 120 then.
Okay. I mean, I gotta say, even 120 is hard with something that unwieldy.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah. And then the mini block, so that the mini block goes from 75 to 205.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start with that one.
Yeah, right. Well, if you want to buy me a Mauser block, I'll start training with it, and then I'll go and try and break the 370-pound record.
Hey, listen, that's a perfect that's a perfect segue into me asking for the audience once again to please subscribe to the channel, my Block Strongest, and also to Hunger Smash Fitness. You know, we've been both of us have been collabing a lot lately, trying to bring you a lot of great information. It costs nothing to subscribe, it costs nothing to like, but it really helps the algorithm for both of us. So, you know, Isaac, once the monetization finally happens, maybe I will get you a present one of these days.
That'd be awesome. I'll be waiting anxiously by the mailbox until that happens.
for a Mauser block.
For a Mauser block.
You're gonna have like everybody who works in that UPS office carrying it to your house.
I know. I expect it to arrive fully loaded. So that, I know. Oh man.
Let me check back in on our potential guests here. So Marcus hasn't answered yet. I'm just guessing they're tired or eating or whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the event went a lot longer than it probably was supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I expected it to end probably at a minimum 2 hours before it did. There were, I don't know, what did you think of the delays, especially with the pros? Like Aleila said earlier, there weren't really a lot of delays with the other classes, but with the pros, there were a lot of delays.
And I think that seems to happen a lot of the time. The first couple divisions going through can go through really fast, and then there's always some little hiccup, you know, changing out the weights or something from one division to the next, and so it pushes back that division by 10 minutes, which, you know, pushes back all the divisions by 10 minutes. And so if you have that multiple times, all of a sudden by the time you get to the, you know, to the pros or to the last division going through, they're pushed back by 2 hours. So it just happens. And it's hard to it's hard to make it not happen.
Yeah. Another thing I kind of noticed at the beginning, and I just wanted to ask you about, was how were the shirt colors organized? Like I saw like some groups had blue shirts and some had like a faded teal color. Like, was that novice versus open? Like, what was that all about? Did you decipher that?
Usually that's kind of how they split it up. Usually it'll be like men's and women's, and then like novice and open or something, you know, or depending on the class. So that's usually kind of how they do that. Usually novice is a different color shirt than the rest of the contestants or whatever, and then men's and women's are different colors. So usually you'll have like 4 different shirt colors. I've seen some contests where they'll just give everybody red, you know. And it's but I think Mammoth is a big enough one where they wanted to make it easier to distinguish between the different divisions and everything.
Yep.
So I think that's what they were doing with that. But overall, like some of the colors were fairly close to each other. So when you're staring at it, from the screen here, which is getting the bird's eye view of everything at once, yeah, it makes it a little bit tough. And then a lot of them for different events were using the tacky shirts too, and so it has the sticky spots on it, which are usually just black. And so then you're like, well, right now I'm just seeing 50 different people walking around in black t-shirts, and I have no clue who's who. So, well, that's just that's kind of how they usually split up. But it looked like there were about at least 4 different colors that I could see out on the field. But oh well.
Yeah, sorry, I'm messaging with Marcus. He's answering me.
Okay, nice. Sound like you want to hop on, or?
It sounds like he's probably tired, which I don't blame him.
Yeah, that's understandable because it's 10 o'clock there right now.
Should be. Well, if they're still in Bowling Green, it's 9.
Oh, that's right, because they're 1 hour behind you. But
Kentucky has 2 time zones, so depending on how far they drove for dinner, it might be 10.
It might be 10 o'clock there. Yeah. And after, lifting weights all day and everything, it can be fatiguing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he said he went out to dinner and totally forgot, which, again, I don't blame him. And so he's asking if we could do it tomorrow. So I'm just going to see what I have going on. We'll see what you have going on if you feel like joining us, and we'll do that.
Yeah, I might be able to hop on. I'd have to check on the schedule with that. But and then who are the other people that you wanted to try and get on tonight?
Brownsville Brooch, Amy Wilson. He hasn't answered. So he had a tough Mauser attempt as well. So maybe he's also, I wouldn't blame him for being tired and wanting to get some rest and get some food.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, if the event ended 2 hours earlier, they probably would be cool. But now it's late. Now they're tired now.
Yeah, they're all thinking about bed and or sitting in the hot tub. Probably, actually, after a rough day, that's probably what they're looking for.
Yeah, you know what I was going to ask you too. I thought I heard something in the commentary about like Brian Shaw was there. Did I mishear
that? They kept mentioning him a couple times. I don't know if they were comparing. I think they were comparing athletes to him. But yeah, because I didn't see him there at all.
I didn't either.
On the screen, on the TV screen, I didn't see him at all. But I don't know.
Yeah, he's hard to miss, so I think we probably would have seen him.
Yeah, he's a pretty large individual. He's pretty easy to spot from a distance.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, and then I'll try and get a hold of Travis too and see what all's going on with his shoulder. I want to get some more
I purposely don't want to bother him right now because of that reason.
Yeah, I'll give him a day or 2 and then say, hey, you better talk. So I don't think that would go very well with him. He's a nice enough guy, but
yeah. He looked good though. I mean, for being away for a little bit, he looked big and ready and strong. He looked good.
Yeah, I think he came in to win. But cards just weren't in his favor this time. And
he was upset when it didn't go well, so you could tell he was really invested.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of how he competes anyways. Travis competes very very fiery, I guess. Which you could even tell, when he used to compete back in World's Strongest Man in 06, 07, 08, stuff like that. He does not compete to take second. He competes to win. And he gets really angry when he's on the field and he's not winning.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
He competes very fiery. And then there's people like Brian Shaw, who like nothing ever phases. He's steady as all get out, and whether he's in last or first, well, I don't know if he's ever been in last, but he does great. So
yeah, that's true.
But,
I was actually going to ask you another question and try to get your perspective.
Yeah.
I have an idea, but I mean, do you feel like the weights were too heavy?
No, I think overall, I think the weights were pretty good, because you want it at the point where, like half the people are able to complete it all the way and half the people are not. If you have it too light and everyone's able to do it, then it ends up turning into a cardio contest. And that's not the intention of strongman. The intention of strongman is to figure out, who can lift it, who can actually do this. So you want it at the weight where people are failing, and people were failing lifts, but then there were also people that were completing every implement. So, maybe with the axle, I would have dropped it down just a little bit, because I think you only had one person complete the axle, or maybe two people, but so maybe drop it by 20 or 30 pounds, something like that, so that you can have one or two more people complete the axle. But yeah, like I said, it's supposed to be who's strongest. So, not like powerlifting where it's just one lift. But yeah, it's supposed to be where there's going to be people failing lifts, which, the athletes hate. I hate it when I can't lift something. It's frustrating, and it's so, it's extremely frustrating, basically. But
yeah.
I think overall the weights were pretty good.
I thought they were a little too heavy, but then again, you could say, like, people were criticizing World's Strongest Man this year, and you probably heard all the comparisons to CrossFit.
Yeah.
So nobody's going to say that about Mammoth.
No. And no matter how you set it up, someone's going to be unhappy. Right. I mean, you could even see that on the live stream, where there were a lot of people who were like, hey, focus the camera over here, focus the camera over here. And it's like, well, you have both of them going on at the same time. We're just going to do the wide shot, and everyone can be 50% happy. Because if you make this person 100% happy, this person 0% happy. It's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like that was a little bit distracting, right? Because you got to give the producers leeway and room to do their job. And I thought they did a great job, honestly. Like, I checked out Mammoth 4 from last year. I watched a little bit of that in preparation for this, because, like I said, on my channel, I did a lot of spotlight videos, and I'm, partnering up with the promoters and the producers here to really kind of do a good job for all the athletes. And so I took a look, and I thought the camera angle was better this year. For part 4 last year, I thought it was a little higher up. So now this year you were a little more, not level with the ground, but closer to it. So I thought it was actually a good visual.
Yeah, I think it worked out really well. I mean, like I said, either way, it's going to be tough, because you're not getting the face shot of the athlete that you want. You're not getting that close in of the person 10 feet away filming them. But when you've got one camera trying to capture the entire field, that's kind of what you're stuck with. And unless you want to hire a crew of, 20 cameramen who you can pan between whichever camera you want to watch, like, there's not really a way to feasibly accomplish that, basically. So I think overall, I thought overall the filming that they did was fantastic. I thought they did a great job of it.
Yeah, I agree.
So
you know what I was going to ask? I didn't catch the very, very beginning of the stream. Who was the co-host?
Ooh, I don't remember that now.
Because John Greaves III is the main commentator. He's the main producer, right? He's actually Garage Gym Life Media is his company, I believe, and I think it's actually a website and a magazine as well.
Mhm.
And I actually want to interview him one of these days. He interviewed me. I want to interview him. He has a spectacular martial arts background and just really interesting.
Yeah. I don't remember because he had someone else who competes in strongman talking, and I honestly cannot remember the guy's name.
I'm gonna go check my Instagram because that guy said he started following me during the stream, so I should be able to easily pick him out. Yeah,
there you go.
I think maybe he's one of the lighter. Well, I was gonna say he said he's 5'7", so that might mean he's one of the lighter weights, but not necessarily.
I don't know. Yeah, because there's a couple of the contestants that I was watching today that is like, well, you're not very tall, but you're 300 pounds. Like you got.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I think he said he competed like 326 or something like that, even at 5'7". So yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah,
he was funny though. I thought he was like a good second commentator. He was funny.
Yeah, I thought he and John worked really well together. So yeah that was a good pick. But yeah, so no word from Marcus, or he's not coming on today.
Marcus is going to be a different day. Gabrielle's going to be a different day, but I hadn't asked her until right now anyway. Jamie Wilson isn't answering, so I'm just assuming he's in for the night. And let's see.
Bummer.
Yeah, Lisa hasn't answered me yet. I'm just guessing she's together with Marcus since they train together. Again, not maybe we get them both on together another night to talk about how how training goes.
I'd be down. Yeah, because I was gonna say I might have to wrap it up here pretty quick. In a little bit here. But yeah, maybe early next week or something, we can try and get them on or shoot for another night and try and get another live stream talking to them.
Yeah. But I'm gonna try one more person before you go. We'll see where we get.
Okay. A surprise interviewee.
Surprise, yeah. I mean, surprise if I'm successful. We'll see.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Let's see. So while we're waiting, what did you think? So I asked Aleila and Kadi this, but what did you think of how much the dirt floor played into things today?
Yeah, it's tough. In some ways, I think the dirt can be a little bit nicer because it's a little bit of a cushion, and so when you're doing a lot of impact, sometimes the dirt is nicer, on your knees and stuff. So especially with the masters and all that, they probably appreciated the dirt instead of the concrete. But generally speaking, yeah, it's more of a slipping hazard, more of a tripping hazard, like with the wheelbarrows. You can see that they have the big pegs on the back, and so if you're running and that starts to drop, those will dig into the dirt. Whereas on concrete, they just kind of slide along. So I generally speaking, I think the concrete's a little bit better to go with. The one other thing is if someone falls and has a weight land next to them or on them or something like that, dirt is a lot nicer to fall on than concrete. And there were a number of people that fell today. So they're going to be less bruised falling on the dirt than they are on the concrete.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think, dirt's a little bit easier to slip on and stuff too. So that could also be why there are more people falling.
They were actually talking about that being a problem with the tire flips as well, because the tire was sliding away as competitors were flipping.
Yeah, I've tried doing tire flips. I do not like doing tire flips on wet grass, for instance, or something like that, because once you start getting it up here, the bottom will start to slide away from you, and it's very tricky to try and keep that traction. If you don't have the momentum going on it, it'll stall out pretty quickly on you.
Right. Yep, that's for sure. All right, I'm getting an answer. Let's see what the answer is.
Should we do a drum roll?
Oh, you mean where is it? Let's see.
Is there a drum roll option?
There is not, but there's that countdown thing.
Oh, yeah, count. There you go. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Let's see. The answer I get from everybody is right now.
Well, preferably. I just saw Kent Altina commented too. Great day of competition. Coach ended up being third amongst male middleweights. Yeah, it was a great competition. I think overall they did a fantastic job. And it's always nice seeing, a coach or a friend or something do well in a competition and end up on the podium.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see. I'm waiting for the response. I'll say this. I'm talking to two different people, and if I get them, they'll be great interviews. They're worth it. The audience will want to see them.
Okay. It's not John Greaves, is it?
No, but
that'd be a good one.
That would be a good one. Yeah. We'll have him on another thing.
Yeah.
No, I want to do a whole interview with him on his whole background and martial arts and all that stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. I think in a lot of ways, because growing up, I did some judo and Muay Thai and stuff like that for a number of different years. Never competed in it or anything. But I think in hindsight, it was really good for getting into strongman, because now I have more of that mobility and speed and body control that is actually really beneficial in strongman. So even though, back then I was $175 and now I'm 300 pounds, still just having, especially like that body control and body awareness, knowing what your limbs are doing while you're using them, it's actually really beneficial. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I wrestled in high school a little bit, and some of that stuff sticks with you,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna, rear naked choke a log. It's impractical, but
I'm a little crazy. I might.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm not quite sure how to do it, I guess, mostly.
All right, we got one.
Awesome. Bring him in.
Her.
Oh, bring her in. Sorry.
But it's a good one. You'll like it. She says she's a hot mess, but she'll join.
Oh, that's okay. I wouldn't expect anything else after a day of competition.
I wouldn't either. It's pretty exciting. We're getting some good guests.
Yeah. So far, we've only been able to get females to do interviews, and none of the guys.
All right, you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, I'm surprising my audience here.
Hey.
We got Kristine Matthews.
Hey.
Nice.
What's up? Great competing today. You were awesome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it went a lot better than I anticipated. I was kind of worried doing my middleweight show out today, so.
Yeah, we were actually talking with Kadi Rogers and Aleila Worley earlier. Like, what happened with mixing middleweights and heavyweights together? How did that all happen?
From what I understood, one of the heavyweights dropped, so they mixed us all together so everyone could get at least nationals bids and things like that. So, and then there was enough of us. I'm pretty sure the first place got Arnold bid still. So.
Nice.
Yeah, it was intense having to battle it out with 2 weight classes heavier than what I'm used to battling it out.
I would bet.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with my co-host, it's Isaac from Hunger Smash Fitness. I was telling him, like, he's got to check out your deadlifts. Like, they're like otherworldly for your weight class.
They're my favorite thing to do, for sure.
Nice. Yeah, deadlift is one of my favorites too. I'm not a huge fan of overhead or anything like that, mostly because I'm not very good at it. So.
I'm finally getting better at overhead, so I'm not so much concerned about it anymore. But for like the first 3 years, I would zero overhead in every event. So I'm glad that's definitely not an issue anymore.
Nice. That's always good.
Yeah. So was deadlift your favorite event today?
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure the 18-inch deadlift was heavier than it was supposed to be. A lot of girls zeroed it that I didn't anticipate seeing zeros on the 18-inch axle. The setup for the car deadlift was pretty cool since they didn't actually have a light enough car for us, so we got to do the axle deadlift rig attached to it and made like a front back movement while you're going up and down with the weight. It was real nice to try and balance.
That's cool. And by the way, you're not the first one to say the weights were more than they were supposed to be, right, Isaac?
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I was saying too. Is like it depends, because you want the weights heavy enough where some people are failing it and some people are making it, right. But at the same time, if you have over 50% of the competitors zeroing out on something, like, yeah, it's too heavy.
We're having a hard time when usually they're not, and it's like, that's not a weight that I've seen them not before. So, yeah. We had the same issue with the Viking press. I think we were told it was going to be 135 for the lightweight and 145 for the middleweight, and ended up being, it's 165 empty. So,
that's always fun, right?
Yeah, so I was the first girl to get a rep on that, and I ended up getting 5, which was nice. I wasn't nice that either, so that was a good turnout for that one.
That's awesome. So let's kind of rewind a little bit. For all the people in the audience that don't know you, you want to say something about your background, upbringing that would be interesting to the folks watching?
So believe it or not, I was a runner and a sprinter and a dancer before strongman. So this was many moons ago, not anything I really dabble into much anymore. The sprinting is definitely carried over really well, minus the building of muscle added onto that. It slowed me down at first. I wasn't used to it, but so, I mean, other than that, I've just pretty much gotten into strongman and I've dove in head first.
So how long have you been in strongman and how did you get into strongman?
So I've been in the strongman now for 5 years. It was 5 years this month. My coach, actually, I met her at a rock concert 9 years ago, and she started dating a guy that had been competing in strongman since he was a teen, and he introduced her to it. And for the first almost 4 years of competing, she tried to convince me, and finally she got me, and I haven't turned back since. And she's been my coach since day one, and she's actually a world's strongest level lightweight competitor.
Oh, really?
Kristine Bangma. So, yeah.
What's her name again?
Kristine Bangma.
Okay.
You should look into her. Eat cake.
I'm looking right now. Right now.
I would not be where I am without her, both literally and proverbially. So she introduced me to the fort, and she's helped me, get stronger every year. So
nice.
Yeah, definitely shoot me over her Instagram. I'll definitely follow for sure.
I'll do that.
Yeah. So what is it that you like best about strongman?
The fact that it's an individualized sport with so much teamwork atmosphere. The camaraderie is absolutely next to nothing. You won't find that anywhere else. It's actually been what's kept me going. I got injured pretty badly 3 years ago, but everyone knowing that they're going to be there at the next show and I get to see somebody I haven't seen in months it helps me keep going, even if I don't feel like I'm going to do well at the competition, because at least I'm going to see friends or people that I know are going to motivate me to do my best. So
yeah, I was actually talking to Isaac about this the other day. The community in strongman is so awesome. Everybody's so nice. I haven't met anybody yet who's a jerk. If I were to DM LeBron James and say, come in for an interview, I wouldn't get an answer.
Right? He'd be like, you want to do it again?
Yeah.
No, it's really awesome that you came on, especially with your level of success. We really appreciate it. Isaac, what do you have to ask?
Well, no, I was gonna say that's exactly what drew me to strongman too. Is because I did a little bit of powerlifting and stuff, and I hated it because I was like, you're sitting around for 30 minutes waiting to do one lift. Everybody's angry. Nobody's talking to each other. Like everybody, like it's a very individual, like angry thing. And I was like, that's just not me. I like to laugh too much. Like when I was there, I was trying to chit chat with other people, and they were all trying to sit there with their headphones in, and like, yeah, exactly. And I was like, well, why are you guys so upset? What's going on? And then, first strongman competition I went to, like, I was hooked instantly. I was like, this is amazing. Everybody's laughing. Everybody's like sharing food and everything. And my oldest little boy, he was, yeah. Well, and it was awesome because my oldest boy, he was like 9 months at the time. And it was cool because like you'd have all these like 350-pound strong men, sweaty with beards and everything, and in between events, be like, "Oh, can I hold the baby?" Yeah, I guess. Like,
awesome.
But I was like, "This is awesome!" Like everyone's sharing bags of gummy bears and everything, and I was like, "Oh, everybody's happy, everybody's like having a good time," and I was like, "This is a completely different like." Sport,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I was hooked instantly. I was like, "Oh, this is all I want to do. I don't want to."
Know the feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
So how did you first find out about Mammoth? What attracted you most to Mammoth, and how do you think it went compared to your prep?
So I signed up for Mammoth originally when it first was released. So this was before the Pro Show was added on, before Masters Nationals was included. And I had signed up, the Record Breakers was already a part of it. And I signed up initially wanting to set the block record. So I was already planning on cutting. And then once it switched, I changed, like when the Arnold moved down towards the end of the year this year, and then June opened back up for me, I decided I want to do USS Nationals, and I'm going to cut to 132 for that show. So I was like, I'm just going to go away, have a good time. It'll be a good first comp of the year. There's going to be, lots of people I don't see very often there. And then all of a sudden it's like Pro Show. This is going on. I'm like, I'm going to see all my strong friends. But yeah, I mean, what I signed up for happened. Prep was kind of hit or miss, as I had a show last month. It was a record breaker event that I really dedicated a lot of my time and energy to. So I didn't get to put my hands on much of the elements before coming in today. So I had about a month's worth of training. So that would be like 4 weekends. That includes deload. Yeah. So.
Wow.
I'd hate to see what you do with the proper training.
I know. I'm like, man, I hope I can get some good, solid training in for the Arnold this year and come in like I did today. So that's my plan.
So I was actually going to ask you, like, what's exciting on the horizon? When is the Arnold's this year?
They're thinking August 21st through 28th-ish or September 11th week. They're still not cemented down or set in stone in anything yet. So.
Okay.
Still waiting patiently. So my next most exciting thing on the horizon will be USS Nats. Might be my last cut to 132. So we'll see how it goes.
And when is that?
June 5th in Minneapolis.
Nice. All right. If they stream that, I'm covering it for sure. I want to see more of you.
Yeah, get a hold of Sue Metcalf. I'm sure she'd love that.
Okay.
That's who's hosting next year. Sue, yep.
Okay, cool. Will do. Yep. Isaac, write that down.
Yeah, right. I don't think I'll be ready for Nats, but no.
Yeah, I did USS when I first started. This last year has been the most I've competed in SC my whole 5 years that I've been a part of Strongman. So I feel like it's more of a changing, like moving into bigger things and having bigger goals and bigger plans ahead. SC offers a lot more, like internationally, the Arnold. Then you've got OSG too. I might be trying to put my hand in that this year, at least to try and qualify. So we'll see. It's a whole different level out there.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It's like leaving the zoo and going to the actual like rainforest. What's gonna come out?
What do you think? Mammoth 6 next year? You gonna do some record breakers?
I think that will be the plan. If they do more record breakers, I'd definitely like to set the lightweight block record next year. I think I got it in me. I think it's 134.5 right now. So
yeah,
it's definitely something I want to at least try.
Yeah, I think you definitely have that in you.
Yeah, our block today was 120 for the middleweight. So.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and that went up fairly well. So
I was actually going to ask you a little bit about that. The block gave a lot of people fits today. What is it about that Mauser block that's so difficult to handle?
So you've got the feet, which adds weight front and back when you're holding it up in neutral position and rack position with, and then you can either choose to put your thumb underneath the block to get more stability or wrap your palm completely underneath, which is usually how I press it. And then the weight is side by side inside. So the weight goes back and forth this way inside on pins, and then you've got the feet that want to bring you back and forth this way. So it's definitely a big core stability and getting comfortable in rack position and making sure you really settle in before you do the push.
Okay. Is it something you train a lot?
I did 100-pound plate presses to prep for this because I don't own a block. So, and
yeah, they were talking about today how they're going to stop making them, and I guess they're going to become a rarity.
Frank Gonzalez actually took over. I can't remember the name of his business, but I know Paul handed over the dimensions to him. So he's definitely a good guy to get in touch with if you're interested in a block.
Nice. Yeah. To put it on my Christmas list for next year.
Right? Same.
Right? Maybe once I become a wealthy YouTuber, then I'll start buying stuff like that.
Well, Frank, you'll start promoting this product for a free block.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
I have zero problem with that.
Yeah, right?
Zero.
No.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Man, I was just thinking, man, if I tried to cut down to the 132 class, that'd be 170 some pound weight loss.
Yeah. Are you talking kilos?
No.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, 132 kilos. Could add some weight in then. There you go.
Yeah, right? I know. I could maybe do 132 kilos, cut down to that, but yeah.
There you go.
It's funny you said you enjoyed going and seeing all your strong friends. Isaac's my only strong friend.
I'm trying to make all the friends at every competition. I'm loud and I can't stop talking all the time. So it's like if you look like you're going to be cool to have a conversation with, I'll walk up and have a conversation with you.
That's just strong man in general.
That's something that has a compliment.
Yeah, I feel like that's just strong man in general, though. Like people are just,
sure.
They're loud and friendly, and they will start a conversation.
Issue at nationals, so my coach was watching the live feed, and one of my friends is in my weight class, and her husband was there with us, and so since she coaches both of us, she was keeping in contact with her husband, and she was like, "You need to tell Kristine to sit down. I can watch her through this live feed, and she needs to go sit down. She is up and talking to too many people right now." Like, no, stop watching me through the live feed. Terrible.
Just need to figure out where the camera is and go, underneath it or something.
Where is she? She's got to be over there somewhere talking to somebody. Not even watching the competition anymore.
Oh, man.
Speaking of like loud in a good way, you ever make friends with Erin Stoney?
Erin Stoney, oh yeah, I love it when she's around and her energy, and tonight was awesome. Like I haven't seen her since USS Nats in New York, and so much needed. It's like I'm not used to having somebody who matches and is louder than me. And I love it. I love every minute of it. She is a blast to be around.
Yeah, she seems like it. I was researching her because I made a video on her as well, like I did for you. Yeah. And I saw like she does the tongue sticking out thing, right? So I messaged her on one of her posts and I said, "Hey, what was that weight?" I forgot if it was an overhead press or something she was doing. So I said, "What's that weight?" And she goes, "I'm lightweight." I'm like, "Are you bust balls?" Like in comments too.
She's a ham, like totally. Like if you just anything, expect the unexpected and then expect even more. Like you can't believe some of the stuff that comes out of her mouth, but I love it.
That's awesome. So anything you want to plug while you're here, feel free.
So I recently just became a sponsored athlete for Go Hard Labs this weekend. We made it official. They're a brand new supplement company on the horizon for the community. They took on Marcus Crowder as well this weekend. So right now they only have one pre-workout out. They're getting ready to drop a second flavor, and then some ECAAs and BCAAs and stuff are on the future here soon as well too. So
nice.
But I also have a supplement company, Valhalla brand company, that I've been a part of for almost a full year now. Just started late 2019, so the designs are all new. Everything's still kind of up and coming with that, but I'm really excited about being able to start off being sponsored by companies who aren't huge names, and I can help them grow, and they can help me grow, and we're kind of here for each other through this whole process. Yeah. So I'm really excited about both of these companies. We actually did a collaboration giveaway at the beginning of the year with both of them, plus Belt Fed Strength. So it was a good giveaway for the beginning of the year. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, that sounds great. Definitely shoot me the links for all of them. I'll put them in the description here for you.
All righty. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Isaac, anything else you had before we let Kristine go have her dinner or whatever?
Yeah.
Just finished eating, so you're good.
All right, I'm good.
Well, now it's time to start drinking, so.
Gotta rehydrate.
Right?
Yeah,
rehydrate.
Yeah.
All the
oh, man. No, great show, though. Yeah, good job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, you went from I thought you were a lightweight to you correcting me that you were a middleweight to almost beating all the heavyweights. Like, more than that. That's awesome.
That was not expected for me either. So yeah, it feels pretty good. So I'm hoping to come with the same energy in September. So that's the plan, at least.
Yeah. I mean, I think for one, I can say like I'm really excited about following your career, and I'm gonna cover everything I can for you for sure.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it. Yeah. Have a good night, and awesome again. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great night.
All right. Take care. Bye. That was awesome. Good last minute interview, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, glad you were able to pull her on last minute like that.
That's what I do.
Yeah, definitely. I know. Hey, it never hurts just to message someone and just see if they're down.
Yeah, I feel like I have a couple more for this week coming up, like Marcus for sure, because he and I had pre-planned it quite some time in advance, so I think he will come through there. The other one that I was trying to get, but she's actually just sitting down for dinner right now, but I think we can do during the week as well. I can either do it alone or if you're down to join too, was Corey Butler, who did really awesome breaking some axle press records.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so she seems like she's down for another night as well. She's just sitting down to dinner right now.
Yeah. And that's the problem with it running so late. Like, yeah, everyone's kind of wrapping up their night. So
but yeah, I mean, exciting stuff for the horizon. That's a few, like, what is that, 3 or 4 nice big interviews we can have coming up for our audience.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be nice. Let me see.
Somebody reaching out to you as well?
No, I was just looking up what all Corey had done. Okay, so yeah, 250 on the axle. That's
well,
impressive.
Yeah, if you caught that part, she broke the record and then she broke it again.
Oh, I didn't see that. So she broke her own record.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Some people.
I mean, speaking of that, I think Jessica Fithen might have done that with a Mauser as well, because would you say the record was like 185.3 or something?
Yeah, 185.6, I think it was. And then she set it to
220.4, but I think she did a 205 in between, so she might have broken it twice as well.
And that's a sure way of making sure that you keep the record for a while.
Yeah.
But
I mean, so Jessica, I believe, is America's Strongest Woman 2020 in the heavyweight division.
I think so. Because I've seen her name before.
Yeah. So when I made my video about her, it didn't get like a lot of views compared to some of the other ones, and I thought, I've not represented this right. I have to go back into my title and my description, make sure people know she's America's Strongest Woman. Like, she's going to do some damage today, and people need to know.
Nice. There you go. Yeah, you've put up how many videos in the last couple days?
Well, altogether, not just the last couple days, but altogether about Mammoth, I did 27 videos.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Ready for a break?
I just feel like they need the notice. They need the attention, you know?
Yeah. Oh, and I'm sure they appreciate it too.
Yeah.
But
like, you know, Marcus Crowder walking down the street should be swamped like he's Evander Holyfield, and he's not, you know?
Right? Oh, someday.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was cool. I think that's kind of everything I wanted to cover. So like I said, we have, for everybody still watching, let's see if we have any comments we didn't attend to. Nope, I think we got to them all, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So for anybody who missed it, go back, check out the recording of this stream. We had the great standout Aleila Worley on here and Katie Rogers, better known as Katie Chaos, who both won their individual divisions. We just had Kristine Ann Matthews, who ended up in a conglomeration where middleweights and heavyweights competed against each other and still came in second. So definitely go back, watch this stream, check out the great interview with her. I think the three of them were just sweethearts and like so nice to come on and right after they're tired out from such a long day of competing to spend some time with us. So definitely go check it out. You know, check out the interviews there. Coming up on the horizon again in the next few days, I have Marcus Crowder, America's Strongest Man 2020, who will be joining me on some night this week that I can arrange with him. Corey Butler, who, as I just mentioned, broke the axle press record today and then broke it again. And then we should be able to still get Jamie Wilson on one of these days as well. And who else did I miss? Is that everybody we have?
There was one other person you were mentioning earlier too, and I can't remember who it was.
Oh, Lisa Coro. I couldn't get
Oh, yeah.
Likely she trains with Marcus, so likely they probably went out to dinner together, and we'll try to get her on another day. And then Megan Hogg also, who, you know, kind of, I'm just assuming was tired out, long day, right? So we'll just do it another time kind of thing. But yeah, so Corey Butler, Marcus Crowder, and
Lisa.
Did I mention? And Lisa Coro probably coming up this week. So definitely tune in for that. Thank you all for joining me on my Block Strongest Man with my special guest today, Isaac from Hunger Smash Fitness. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this stream, go over to Hunger Smash Fitness and subscribe to his channel as well. You'll learn some awesome stuff about strongman programming, and he's got his latest interview with Travis Ortmeyer on there as well. So a variety of awesome content there as well. Isaac, I want to thank you for joining me. I always learn something from you. Appreciate all your comments and opinions on today's event, and we'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for inviting me. And make sure that you subscribe to my Block Strongest Man channel so that you can actually catch these interviews in the future. Because if you're not subscribed, you won't know when they're happening. So.
Yep. Appreciate it, everybody. Have a good night.
All right. Bye.